Hey everyone, welcome to the Hoofwave podcast, coming to you from Sydney and Perth and Tasmania. Jeez, it's splitting up now. This podcast was recorded on the 14th of October 2014, and it's a very, very special one. It's after about, 10th, so 6 months, we're finally recording another podcast, and not an interview. So, on with me today, we have all our new staff members. We have Harry.
Hello.
And Max.
You can interview me.
I can. Sure.
Just by the way.
By the way.
By the way, I like talking about myself.
It's a great staple of every MC. Bar one. Yeah.
It's because it's easy to do. Like, you just focus on the inner you that you want to project out to the world, because if you adopt the mindset, that everyone cares and knows about you, then everything in life is wonderful. They're not throwing rubbish at you because they hate you, they're giving you gifts.
Yeah, some people, and then if you project, and you project hard enough, you can, if someone points you at a screen or something, you can probably start showing PowerPoint presentations of your life.
Cinema events will be free forever.
I may or may not have actually done that once for a school assignment.
You projected
a
PowerPoint presentation of your life from your face.
You're supposed to give a speech about anything you wanted to, and I gave a speech about myself, and I had a couple slides, and I came, it was a contest thing, and I came in 9th out of 10.
Here's me as a baby. I just came out of my mother's stomach.
And that was yesterday.
Whoa. I was trying to think of a Tasmanian joke to string along to that, but I couldn't do it.
Well, I've got one.
Is the joke.
I've got one that I could make,
It's a joke.
but it's super not safe for work.
Just say it and I'll bleep it out.
Well, there's more than one time you can come out of a vagina now.
God damn it. See, now this is going to be just a long bleep there, and then everyone watching will just wonder, what did he say?
See, this is why I want to be on the After Dark one, because my first thought was something horribly graphic.
Alright.
When I heard that.
That's actually a good segue. Whoa! Yeah, so Hoofwave, after a long hiatus of, I think, the last video we put out was our interview with the Living Tombstone. Yeah, that was the last interview we put out. We had absolutely nothing in the mean of podcasting because our previous MC, Kuroshia, was just busy all the time doing nothing, I presume. So, I fired him. Okay, I didn't. He left, which saved me from firing him. And I brought on these two wonderful people. If you'd like to tell us about yourselves a little bit. I'm going to say Harry first, because he's the first one on my screen.
Oh, hello. That means I'm most important.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm from Tasmania. I'm 17. I'm like small horses. I don't know. I'm an admin of the Bronies of New South Wales group. I've done a little bit of podcasting in the past on Australia, and then the show that I was on just kind of stopped having episodes because everyone got really busy. And so this is the first podcasting I've done for a couple of months. I don't know really what you want me to say. I could go on for hours talking about myself in general, but...
Your show in Australia, could you tell us more about that? Or?
Yeah, basically, to start with on the show, we would just go through a bit of, news for the week, big things mostly, a couple of stuff we're going to talk about later on today, we would have mentioned on there. And then usually we would do an episode review because we were trying to get through all of the Pony episodes. And then we would also have a specific topic, so occasionally it'd be music in the fandom or a specific headcanon that we would discuss, or we'd have guests on. We had Anthony C on one time. Got to chat to him about a few things, which was a lot of fun.
That was pretty good. Alright, and Max. if you want to just tell us
Yeah.
about your like history with the fandom and stuff.
Yep. I am Maximilian Thor von Neumann, aka Formal Riot, ex-MC of Flankcaster. I believe I can say X now because the website finally went down due to lack of maintenance. That's a great start. Used to be the Flankcaster of that the podcast of that wonderful forum, Bronies Australia, which I believe is one of the larger Australian brony forums.
Isn't
if
it
not
the only one?
I
No,
think
there is
it's
another.
the only one I know of.
There is.
another.
There's another one that's kind of like the Australian Equestria Data. They have art features and stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that, and then there's, like, 2 spin-off forums created by people who got really upset after being kicked off of Bronies Australia, which happens every now and then.
Oh, man.
So those exist, too, but...
They sound like they'd be really entertaining.
Oh, they are... One of them, I remember distinctly, you could become, like, a moderator of it if you just asked, and it was really bad. Like, Yeah, I forget what it's called, but they didn't go down well. Point is, BAU, that's my stomping ground. Shameless plug, go there. There's a lot of, like, there's a collection of some cool older people as well as the younger, excitable lot. It should be worth noting I'm 23 now. Apparently ages were relevant. Forgot to drop that. I'm the old guy of the bunch here. Got into ponies several years ago. There's a giant moth freaking me out in the room right now. We can bleep that
Australia.
out, but that thing just
Can we
came
interview
out.
them all?
Australia. Yes, interview them off.
Jesus! Alright, anyways, yeah. Trying to keep my eye on this thing. Anyways,
So,
Point is-
at any point during the podcast you stop talking, we're just going to assume you're dead.
yeah,
And we'll start asking the moth questions instead.
That thing came from out of the fuck nowhere. Anyway. Oh, sorry, swearing. Back. Oof. Then there's strike 1.
Strike 3 strikes and you're out, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I can join Kuroshi and will probably be the inevitable salt mines.
Good MCs are in like short demand in Australia. I mean, I might.
So you're stuck with
I
me.
might have to, if you get kicked off, I might have to bring on Banish tracks or something.
Oh god, no.
Oh man.
Oh, anyways, way off track. Anyways, yeah, did Flankcaster, had fun with that, interviewed peeps, done a couple panels at a couple of the conventions, and if you don't know who I am, I don't blame you, because I'm not known really outside of the forum. Yeah.
That's all shit.
Also, I'm American, if you haven't noticed.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, that's
I
not
have,
allowed.
I have an American passport and an Australian one, dual citizenship.
Oh.
That's the way everyone should go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Alright. That's interesting, actually.
I can get dual English Australian because my mom's from England.
I could probably get dual Sri Lankan Australian if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm ever going to visit there other than to, I don't know, stay at a hotel for a day. It's a great country, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather live in Australia. I don't have to boil the water here before I drink it. That kind of thing.
Well, that's because you don't live in Perth.
You do. Oh boy.
Yeah.
What?
Or Tasmania.
Well, okay, the water's fine if you like fluoride. Then it's really good, like lucky you. Otherwise, no. Boil it or flood it with cordial.
Did you know that fluorine is a halogen? Yeah. Chemistry.
I did not know that.
Woohoo.
And we can segue from that into tulpas.
Yeah. What? No, but when you brought up like the Not Safe for Work podcast, I wanted to segue into a little like sort of the direction that Hoofwave is going. We're not turning into a Not Safe for Work podcast, but we're sort of working our way into becoming more of a media outlet. So we're going to be having a few extra shows besides this podcast and the interviews. I think this Not Safe for Work podcast is probably happening. probably. I actually have to organize it with the fourth MC. I'm the third one. Who will be doing that one solely. And then I think we might also be having this. I didn't really want to do like episode reviews and stuff because it kind of felt like something everyone did at some point. So my focus when I started this was to be more about the fans and anything else and purely that, rather than just being another podcast that talks about the TV show. But there is a little bit of demand for that, I would notice, in some places, and another friend of mine is maybe going to be doing that for us. Maybe. That's also a thing that might be happening.
As long as I can be on the Breezy's episode and just rant about it for an hour.
That episode was like, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then Seabreeze broke the saxophone, and I was like, you know what? That character, like, I like all the characters in this show except for that one. That hurt. Like, I felt like part of my heart just break when that
I'd just like to point
smashed.
out that I have a video of you saying, "No, I have not blowjobbed my saxophone."
Poor saxophone.
Wow. Alright, I've tongued it.
Only got to second base.
Yeah. Tasted like wood.
I went all the way with my trumpet.
Why? Do you like stick it in the horn or something?
It is a horn.
Bell. Stick it in the bell.
The bell, yeah. I don't know. I was like 12. Okay, that was a joke that's gone way too far.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, good. I'm halfway through my first drink, and we have over an hour to go.
Man, the drunk podcasting is something that is always like there'll be two sober people and one drunk person. It's always going to be that. This Harry's older than me.
Give me a year.
Yeah, but he's still 17.
Oh, I'll
like,
be.
The responsibility is falling onto me now, and I must do Australia proud.
You need to drink for the both of us. Oh man!
If you don't pass out, I'll be disappointed.
There's a chance today, because of the fact that like I'm getting over that flu thing, so it's gonna be hitting me like a truck, hopefully.
It's like wham, got like the podcast landed. We're like, okay, we're all gonna go now, and you just don't talk.
Yeah.
Oh, he must be out.
Can I do a quick story? I don't really care if you edit this
Go
one
for
out, just because I think I'm ranting a bit too much about myself. But I remember when I first started to try and record things for the podcast, my idea was I'm going to do a top 15 character review, where after I talk about each character, I do a shot of tequila. And my thinking was, I'm good at improv. I can talk about each character for like 10 minutes and be perfectly fine. But what happened was, I didn't talk about each character for about 10 minutes. I spent about like 1 minute because after the fifth shot, I was drunk and couldn't think of things to say, and I'd get pissed off at myself for stuttering and drink more. Then I straight up passed out on number 2.
Number 2.
And the audio file has since been deleted and removed. According to my housemates, I actually punched my refrigerator and then passed out into it and then vomited everywhere. So, yeah. That's my fun little drinking podcast experiment. The first time I ever tried to record for the fandom.
Wow.
I'd call that a success.
Yeah, I was like, oh, and then you said you deleted it, and I was like, oh.
No, because, I deleted it because there's 6 minutes of, like, snoring and drooling.
I would have just liked to upload that at the end of this one. Just to pad in time, you know?
Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's why I didn't. That's why I deleted it. Also, because it was video.
Oh my god.
It was cringe bad. Like, it was.
No,
that sounds amazing.
I would have paid to watch that.
It's great in theory and horrible in practice. It just. Oh, it was bad.
Jesus
I
Christ.
want to say it wasn't during my fedora stage, but it might have been. I don't really remember.
That is terrible. Terrible.
I feel weird that I can relate to you and that I've also had a fedora stage.
Alright, well, to be fair, I was wearing the fedora thing before ponies, and like I even realized that it was an internet thing. And then as soon as I saw all like the horrible milady stuff and like what it has come to represent, I gave it up in a heartbeat. And in my defense, the only reason why I had it was because I actually had the accompanying formal attire, and the guy at the shop was like, "Wear this; it'll complete the thing." And in hindsight, yeah, I guess it did, because if you're gonna walk up to your year 12 formal wearing a 3-piece suit and a fedora, the only ride you need to arrive in is a cardboard box painted like a car. So,
Yeah, well, I used to do swing dancing, and so I had like a full suit and a fedora for that.
I actually, in my first year of being a brony, I didn't, at this time I didn't see my dad because we had differences, but he still sent me a box of presents, like for Christmas, just a box of stuff, and in there was his fedora that he had bought to go to parties, and he gave it to me with the Gen 3 pony because he thought it was hilarious. and like at the time I'm like, oh cool, it's my dad's fedora. And then, like, I don't know, a year later, I started seeing all the milady stuff and all the friend-zone stuff with the fedora, and I'm like, my fedora was passed down from me from my father.
and we all just caved into peer pressure and gave it up.
Yeah.
Man,
I also, so that's like one of my fedoras. I have, a year ago, I think it was like, last year at the Bronies in New South Wales with their Christmas meetup, which was the second last meetup of the year, someone left a bag with a fedora and a copy of Deus Ex Human Revolution.
I heard about that.
And I brought it to like 3 subsequent meetups afterwards, and I made like multiple posts on the group about it, like, I have this lost property, does anyone own it? And no one's taken it yet, so I have a fedora and a copy of Deus Ex for PlayStation 3. I'm an Xbox
if we're talking-
person.
Yeah, I'm an Xbox person as well. I'm just thinking, we have fedoras. Like, I have a couple fedoras actually in this house. One of them from the most recent trip to Sydney, that pink one. I think you guys each signed it.
Yeah.
The pink one.
Yeah, man, I signed it twice.
Yeah, that thing is
Almost
awesome.
says
So I have
Marvin,
that.
And then this is noteworthy next to it.
And then we also have a rainbow fedora.
Oh, that's...
And essentially, what they have become in this house is the marks of victory and so if you do something amazing, you get to wear the pink fedora, but if you do something horrible, you have to wear the rainbow one as punishment.
That's pretty good.
So that's what the fedora has become to us. And yeah, the rainbow one has been hidden a few times by people who don't want to wear the one of shame. Like, they'll do something worthy of it, like skip out on dishes or something, and they'll hide it in the house. But if I have a nose for anything, it's finding hidden fedoras. So it never stays.
My friends'
long.
own senses are tingling.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can like sense the euphoria from here. Oh god. Something smells like
horrible.
euphoria.
I tell you what though, that's the best like hidden skill I've ever heard. Sniffing out hidden fedoras.
Yeah. The scent of neck beard is strong in this room.
He went to PonyCon and he's like, oh, it's overwhelming.
My senses are overflooded, and then start convulsing on the floor.
Actually, my mum went into PonyCon.
And started convulsing on the
Oh, maybe when I wasn't looking. No, she went in and she was like, yeah, some of the people here look alright. Some of the other people look like they haven't been outside or won't be outside after this. She was completely correct.
Yeah, it's a good summary.
It's good. It's good.
Was this the
was
this the Victoria one
yeah,
or
I
the
was
Sydney
Melbourne.
one? Melbourne.
Were you there? Yeah,
Yeah.
you were there. You had a panel. Jesus.
I
I didn't get to
Really?
see
You went.
any panels.
Wow.
I didn't get to see Flankcasting.
I was the voice actor photographer So I was like busy the entire weekend.
Yeah, you were doing real work.
Yeah, man.
I want to say you didn't miss out much on the Flycaster panel, but judging by the looks of things currently, that may be one of the last ones, if not the last one. And I don't want to go too far because nothing's been confirmed or denied yet.
It's gonna become the
what's the last
Hoofwave
one you
panel.
missed out on? What was essentially 40 minutes on ripping on bad fan fiction?
It's gonna become the Hoofwave panel now.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. I made a joke about it with Triggy, who's one of the lead organizers of PonyCon, and he was like, no! No, they seem to be like really excited to just have you on again, which I'm cool with.
Wait, really? Oh yeah, they...
Yeah, because everyone was recommending you to them, because you did a really good job at SoundCloud.
Apparently people don't like McKenna too much.
Aw.
But
He's
I love him
he
like
is
a
a bit
little brother.
cheeky.
Yeah. I think what people like, they complain that he didn't act very professionally with the voice actors at PonyCon, but that was the first time Australia had voice actors, and
Yeah.
I think I can be safe saying like the first time BronyCon or something had voice actors, it might have gone down the same way.
PonyCon... Yeah, the first time... Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I
probably.
mean, he didn't know.
I'm just thinking...
To be fair to McKenna, though, he's still friends with Peter New.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we can segue onto this. The Peter sucks thing. That I actually
Yes.
I have this piece of paper here. I might put a picture up on it on the video. And this piece of paper says Peter sucks. Now,
Yeah,
I didn't write this piece of paper. Ashley Ball did.
Oh.
I actually have the one from the original picture because I actually took the original picture. After he took the picture, he's like, "Well, I don't know what to do with it. Nav, do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah." I slipped it in my pocket and it was there. I also have. No, that was it actually. That was it. Yeah. Yeah. So, for the people who don't know, our friend Matthew McKenna, who is the his internet name is MetaHugh, because he thought it was an anagram of Matthew before he realized the way he spells Matthew has two T's, which is yeah. I laughed at it more than he thought it was funny. He took a picture with Ashley Ball at SalvageCon, which we will talk about in a bit. He took a picture with her with a piece of paper that said "Peter sucks." Peter New, Big Macintosh, and tweeted that to him, and got a bunch of other people to start sending their own pictures of #Peter sucks to him as well. I think I joined in on it. I saw you joined in on it, Harry.
Yeah, I think I was the first one to tweet it to him.
Yeah, a few artists joined in on it. A lot of people joined in. Like, some people actually got really butthurt about it.
Yeah, like there was this one guy replying to all the tweets being like, "Oh, you guys are just abusing."
Yeah, you
Peter
guys
New,
are all
like,
abusing
stop it."
him, and I think Peter said, "I think it's hilarious." He said, "I think it's hilarious." Just go ask Binary Buddy, which is MetaHugh's Twitter handle. He's a comedian, so we think it's hilarious. And then I think what really kicked it for me was I woke up one morning and I was just like scrolling through Twitter, and I saw someone had tweeted at Peter New, "Oh, look at this website." I hit the link. Horse News comes up.
Yeah.
They changed the Horse News logo to #Peter sucks with a picture of crying Big Macintosh behind it. And it's like, I screenshotted it on my phone and texted it to Matthew straight away. I'm like, "Dude, look what you did! Look at it! Be proud!
You made Big Mac
You
cry.
made Horse News acknowledge your stupid hashtag," which was hilarious. And I think it's kind of died off now. I haven't really. Wow, that was really fun for whatever, like a week and a half that it lasted.
Mm.
Yeah.
One of the many great things to come out of Sydney.
Of a few things.
I mean,
SalvageCon. So because we
Good segue.
actually never talked about it, because we kind of didn't have a crew at the time, but Sydney, yeah.
Yeah,
Sydney,
that was a thing, and then there
definitely-
wasn't a thing.
I had a lot of fun. at Sydney with my
I
friends.
had a lot of fun in Sydney with my friends too. just realized what you said.
Yeah, want to say that first drop of Sydney was like not a Freudian slip. I honestly meant to say Salvage Con there, but no. Sydney. I still get the names confused, and it is really bad.
If me and Harry got the names Harry and I, if we got the names confused, that would be like absolutely terrible since we were both head organizers.
Yeah, you two did a great job.
Salvage Con is not affiliated with Sydney. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. I mean,
there.
God,
And
I was doing photography for Sydney,
but
Hoofwave is separate. Thank
I was
God.
doing 2 panels.
Yeah,
for Sydney.
I was doing 1 panel actually.
Yeah, Sydney was going to be good, and I mean I think it's been flogged to death by this stage, though. What everyone's thoughts on Sydney was, why it failed, like all the hearsay, what this happened.
I expected it either to go really well, or be sort of dead in the water and not happen again next year. I didn't expect it to cancel 9 days before.
No one expected
Yeah.
it to cancel.
Well, a few people called it as soon as they heard about Sydney. They knew it was going to tank.
Yeah.
Actually, like talking about it, because Hoofwave was going to be a autonomous photography crew, like separate from their production crew, during the duration of the convention, and I had chosen to pay for, or at least with help from my mother's finance, pay for
Financial
crew.
finance.
Yeah. I don't know why I chose the word finance. My mum helped me pay for them, like put money towards buying crew T-shirts for Sydney, and because we sort of designed them late in the game, put them on like express order. So we spent $150 and bought about 7 or 8 T-shirts, and the next day, I get an email saying that they've been shipped, and I was like, sweet. I go on Facebook, and I see Moons has left Sydney. I was like, okay, what's going on here? Hopefully it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Then the next hour, I see Sydney has been cancelled. I'm just like, that's $150 worth of T-shirts. Crap. And then I also realized, like, my mistake number 2 was actually writing Sydney on the T-shirts instead of just having them being Hoofwave General Staff T-shirts, which was dumb. I ended up giving them out. I mean,
yeah, I've got one now.
Yeah, Harry,
I
has
have one.
You got one.
I love that
Our
thing.
graphics guy Steffi somehow managed to sneak away 2.
Oh, actually,
Damn it!
how many? Do you still have any left over?
No, but Steffi has 2, and I actually
Okay,
I can order more.
I don't think that will be necessary.
I might bleep this part out, but Hoofwave is looking into purchasing the rights to Bankseal.
Because then the T-shirts
was-
will make a bit more sense.
Yeah,
Well, my thought with that was if you had any extras, like if this still might get bleeped out, I don't know. I'm talking about like ideas now. We could contest them away
yeah.
if you had extras. That's what I was
Because
thinking.
when I talked to one of their exec about it, when I said I have these like Sydney T-shirts, like they just arrived, and he said to me, those are the only T-shirts in existence. Apparently none of the other merchandise had been printed at the time that it was
Wow.
cancelled. So
Collector's editions.
yeah, man. If you want like original Hoofwave Sydney T-shirts, I would be completely fine with buying a few extra, because we did them through Vistaprint, and it's really, really cheap, like $23 a T-shirt, and it's one price for all sizes, which I thought was really good. While I was up in Batesman's Bay, like I think a week and a half ago, they had a printing shop, and they're doing T-shirts in there. I asked the girl in the shop, well, how much for a T-shirt? Oh, $25 each. And they go up about like $5 per size. I was like, whoa. That's expensive. I've seen on the internet, and then I said, as soon as I said internet, she's like, nope, can't compare to the internet. That's not fair. That's not fair. I was like, yeah, okay. Well, I'm not gonna buy a shirt anyway, and just left. Just dumb. Yeah. Yeah, so that, like, completely tanked. And we have t-shirts left over. I actually need to get that second shirt off Steffi. I think Steffi might be doing some editing on this. So, yeah, Steffi, I need those t-shirts. Or at least one of them.
Stop lurking and give Nav the t-shirt.
I need the smaller one that you took. Because our artist who drew Banksia on it wants one of them.
She deserves
Yeah.
it.
When we were doing those t-shirts, actually, the first picture she drew was really good, but it was like Banksia from behind, and it was kind of like, it looks great, but we wouldn't exactly want that kind of pose on a t-shirt. It's a little bit provocative, and like,
Were you at the first PonyCon at
yes,
all?
I was at the first PonyCon. I
Yes.
I ironically I didn't work, like, Hoofwave didn't exist. But I was part of the camera crew of Ponyville Live at the time. I wasn't on Philadelphia radio, I was on Sonic Radio Boom, which is the British Brony radio station. There's also
Nice.
Hive Radio also didn't exist. Which is a massive joke. Connor, you didn't hear that. I just man, yeah, so yeah, I was at the first PonyCon. I was, yeah, man, it was great. I actually have a unused weekend pass from PonyCon 2013 because the day after my weekend pass arrived in the mail, I joined Sonic Radio Boom, and then the next day, the person in charge was like, "Yo, you're going to PonyCon, right? This is my mate, Judd West. He does Philadelphia radio, and he's going to PonyCon and needs extra photographers." I was like, "Oh, sweet. I'll help out." So I just need my ticket. It's like, no, you get a pass. I was like, what? And because I didn't have any other Brony friends at the time besides my other mate who was already bought his tickets, it was kind of like, well, I have an extra ticket now that no one wants. Never got rid of it, even when I offered it for free on the second day. It's somewhere in my room.
Judd's a cool guy.
Yeah, he is.
I can vouch for Judd being a cool guy, and I can vouch for Philadelphia being cool people.
It is. I enjoy. I'm still part of there. I don't contribute as much as I used to. Honestly, I should.
I got fired from there.
You were there?
In quotation marks, I was there. I tried to get more involved, but it hit me at a time when uni finals hit me as well, and I just did nothing. Like, I had all these ideas, and I was really ready to contribute and all that, but uni hit. I didn't really tell anyone because at the time I was stupid and not really aware of the people I needed to talk to and the information I need to give. And I went dark for a few months, and then they just fired me like, "You're not doing shit, get out." I'm like, cool, I deserve it. No hard feelings, peace. So, yeah.
What were you gonna do there?
Podcast stuff and radio DJing.
Yeah, so I did mornings with Noteworthy. I don't know. It might still be on. Maybe, but I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah, see, that's just it. Like, I had all these great things. Like, I was gonna do like Tuesday and Wednesday nights and just like focus on metal music and things. Like, I had all these great ideas, and then uni hit. And and it didn't work out, but it was my own fault. I can't badmouth them. They're all really cool, nice people. So I'll plug them in a heartbeat. Philadelphia's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Also, Ponyville Live is just full of great people.
Yeah.
This is part of Ponyville Live. I should totally state that we are affiliated.
I love Ponyville Live. Everyone should go to Ponyville Live. What is Ponyville Live?
It's a media network. Yeah. It's a pretty good media network. Take us.
Anyways.
Yeah, so we should talk about, now that we talk about Sydney, it's somehow just branched off, we should probably talk about SalvageCon. SalvageCon.
And how amazing it was.
So good. So
And how-
in the 9 days before, when 9 days before Sydney was supposed to happen, myself and Harry and Jesus, about how many of us were there, Harry? I can't.
But less than 10
Less
for
than
sure.
10. About 10 of us. We decided that we still wanted to have a convention because a lot of people were still coming to Sydney, and we made it happen. It was damage control.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was great. And
Yeah.
Formal Riot, you were one of our MCs.
Yeah,
Thanks to
McKenna.
Pika.
Yeah, man, you did an amazing job.
Yeah, thank you, Pika, for getting me on that because it was amazing. It was so much fun.
I know Harry and me, we did the concerts.
Sort of.
Sort of. I mean,
We did our best.
we did our best. We had, what, 4 days?
Yeah.
Or so to organize it?
I tell you what though, Patch on that day when he got there late and he was bringing the keyboard for Oliver, that was stressing me out so much.
I was a little bit angry. I was like, oh my god, I'm mad with Cherax. Cherax instructor.
Was that the one thing that didn't run smoothly?
That was the one thing
No.
that didn't go right. Was that
Yeah, but it
He was
still ran
supposed to
smoothly,
bring a
though.
caper.
We got it there in time.
yeah, we got it there in time in the end, but he was also supposed to bring a caper, and that didn't end up happening either. So, Evdog had to learn all the songs in a different key on the day. And it was actually kind of cool to see Feather and Oliver Lakota and Evdog sitting at the back of the venue practicing their instruments and sort of just collaborating and patching together their own sets, which was great. We've actually, because people are going to ask about it still, the Hoofwave footage of the convention will be going up soon. I promise it will be, if it's not out by the time this podcast is. It's just the person who I had recording that is having internet issues because he lives out in the middle of, bum touch nowhere.
Tasmania?
Nah, Mona Vale, it's like north of me and no one lives there. I don't know why anyone would. And it's like terrible.
Population Hoofwave.
I'm not like joking when I'm saying that like bush turkeys like pecked at the east, like his internet cable that he runs to his house and broke it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's an only
That
Australia
is
thing.
definitely an Australia thing. He said like, oh yeah, our internet stopped working. I want to go see what happened to the cable because it runs above ground and like it had been chewed open by bush turkeys. I was like, that's retarded.
Don't you hate it when bush turkeys
Break
peck
through
open
the-
your internet cable?
Like what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh man.
No one should have to live under those conditions.
Yeah. But so I'm still kind of just waiting on him to put that. Like, I gave him access to a Google Drive folder to upload it, so I could, if he doesn't want to, I can edit it and I can upload it to our YouTube channel and stuff. But it still hasn't happened. I need to like bother him. And we have like 2 more photo albums to go up as well, and those will be going up very soon too. So people who are sitting there and waiting for it, yeah, it'll be done. Like I know at this point in time, I was taking a while, but I can take solace in knowing that if I get it up within the next 3 or 4 months, maybe 2 weeks even, I'm doing a better job than PonyCon.
That's a safe time frame there. Yeah, 4 months to 2 weeks.
Well, it's been like what? It's the 10th now, so 8 months, and there is still little to no footage from I found from the actual like PVL guys from PonyCon 2014.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a couple of the panels from PonyCon so I can watch them.
Yeah, I think like the best ones that were around were done by that other person from South Australia, Joseph Tan.
Yeah.
Yeah, his stuff was pretty good, but I didn't think.
Oh, yeah. What's his handle?
I don't think he has one.
No, he does. He definitely does. If he's who I'm thinking of.
No, there's him and then there's another one who
I think
Has
you're
a handle.
thinking of Bill Dark Static.
yeah, Dark Static.
Dark Static.
is
Not
another
Dark.
guy.
Dark Static's the photographer from Victoria.
Dark Static's from
no.
Victoria, yeah.
Who the? Oh my gosh, I know his name because I've done a lot of things with him. Ah, Asian guy,
Yeah.
really
I
nice,
think he's Vietnamese,
super amazing at
actually.
organizing things. Oh, well.
I thought it was Vietnamese.
It'll come to me like later.
Yeah, we were talking about
Oh, is
something
he?
completely irrelevant. Like, oh, it's this guy. I'm like, oh, what? Oh, that conversation before. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll come to me, and it will be glorious. But yeah, I'm still upset I missed the musicians. Going back about 10 minutes, the musicians, I am still upset I missed that, because apparently it was really, really good.
Oh, the concerts.
Yeah.
Were you on the art panel at the time?
Yeah, I was doing the art panel at the time,
Yeah.
so I didn't get to see it, but I heard there was, like, blood and everything.
Oh yeah, man, that is
John
actually.
cut himself in
Let's like go through it one at a time. So there was the PonyCon sort of like PonyCon had Stormwolf, Dreadsaber, Cord, Charax, Ponyver, Purple Fridge, Avenir, and stuff. Sydney was supposed to have Avenir and Feather and Evdog and Oval Kodo, and that was and yeah, I was, and this other new person who I found. His name is Frostfire, and he's like super new to the fandom, super new. And I found him. I was supposed to bring him on for Sydney. Then it got cancelled. So when we were going to still do the concerts and the music panel for SalvageCon, I was like, just bring him on anyway. Easy peasy. We also brought on Charax. He wasn't supposed to have his set at Sydney, so that was cool. Patch is always a great person. Although I have to admit, I was like annoyed at the time. I was like, oh, if I do this again, I'm not bringing on Patch because he's late. And then I realized that's stupid because he's a great performer.
Yeah.
So
He really interacts with the crowd a
he
lot.
does, which is, I guess when this Frostfire, like the night before, I was like, oh, I'm practicing, I'm doing so much, all this preparation, I'm like, I was really amped for his set, and then when on the day, he's like, I've never been to a convention before. I've been to like one Sydney, like Bonus W meetup that you invited me to for your creative arts division, and that was really it. I was like, oh, okay. It's like he was like overwhelmed, and I was also like, you've never been to a convention before. Your first convention, you're performing and you're on a panel. Like, how must that feel? You know. So he was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his set. He was the first person up to warm up the crowd.
Do you want to tell the story of what you paid him to do?
Oh yeah, man. There was a few things that happened during his set. During his first song, the speaker on our stage on the right hand side stopped working. So, like, our sound guy sort of came over to me and was like, I think he blew out that speaker, but I should be able to fix it between this and the next set. So I was like, alright, don't worry, one speaker should be enough. He's playing pretty loud anyway. So I'm standing there, like, sort of in that blast area of the speaker, like where you don't want to be standing, sort of thing. And I'm standing there, like, alright, I'm cool here. It's okay. The music was good. Like, he has excellent mixing skills. I guess he needs to work on his crowd interaction a little bit more. And also, when he tried to talk to the crowd, he kind of didn't get his mouth close enough to the microphone. It's really soft. And then suddenly, my ear goes numb on my right side. It turns out from the music booth they had just turned something down or something like that, and they turned it back up without asking me. And I was like, oh, what? Like, why is one part of my ear, like, what happened? It's gone.
Why am I deaf now?
Yeah, why am I deaf in one ear? It's like, and then I realized, oh, that speaker's back on. Wow, thanks. So I took like one step to the right, and it was perfectly fine again. I also, like, the night before, when I was talking to him, I was like, mate, if you play Darude Sandstorm on the day, I'll give you $10.
What is the name of the song again?
Darude Sandstorm. Yeah, so it was like towards the end of his set, and it was like, "Do-do-do-do-do." And then
Here we go.
I was like, oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Hey, like, some people in the crowd like, is that Darude Sandstorm? Darude Sandstorm. Oh no! And then it
It's the
happened. Yeah, I know.
What was that?
What was that?
What's
Was
that?
that? And then,
Oh.
yeah, it was.
Oh. Slow
It was so good. It was
And
like
then-
the best $10 I've ever spent.
And then the next day, there were 5 of us sitting in a ball pit in the middle of Hyde Park in Sydney, listening to Darude Sandstorm.
Without our shirts on, covered in baby oil.
Mm.
Yeah, man.
Max didn't have pants on.
Yeah, it was,
No, I
you
didn't
feel
need
very
pants.
uncomfortable, but
yeah.
I got used to it.
I was adding to the ball pit.
2 extra. Harry would
Yep.
have added 5. See, that was a Tasmanian joke.
That
um,
Oh, you are gonna hate me after this. No, that's something.
to our overseas listeners, Tasmania is like Australia's version of the South in America.
Yes.
I guess it's like the south of Australia, but it is.
It's
also
Alabama.
sort of Australia's Alaska, because everyone forgets about it.
No, but Alaska's north and not as inbred.
Yeah. It's the Alaska of the South.
Except
Alaska
it's
the
like
South.
more inbred.
Yeah, it's the Alabama, the Georgia, the Tennessee, the Texas, the Florida, the South Carolina, the Mississippi. Any other states I can piss off? Sure, why not? Let's just go New York, California,
New York.
Washington, Oregon,
I was like,
North Dakota, except no one lives there anyways.
Hawaii, Kansas, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Canada. Wait a minute.
Canada's the greatest state.
Canada.
Kenyatta.
Kenyatta.
I was talking about Canada like last year, I think, and I started calling it Canada just because I find that funny because I'm like really immature.
Is it now a habit?
And yeah, it's now a habit, so I just call it Canada. So one day someone asked me like if Canadians are from Canada, who's from Canada? So I decided that people who live in Canada are called Canadians.
Oh my.
Start your own country in your backyard. Call it Canada. Oh my god.
Or just go. That's just the other name for New Zealand.
Too many sheep.
Something blew my mind today. From Tassie or New South Wales, like the east coast of Australia, New Zealand is the same distance away as Perth.
I thought it was closer. Like New
It
Zealand was
might
closer.
be, but like it's
Yeah.
the same time difference.
I mean, it's the same time difference, but like
Pretty crazy.
it's closer to you guys. Like
Roughly.
we're way out there.
Yeah.
There is nothing out here. No reason to come out here. I don't know why I'm here.
Apparently the mining's good.
Yeah, that
There's
mining.
supposed to be a lot of people with a lot of money over in that part of Australia.
Yeah, I'm,
You know what,
I'm
there
a big
is.
fan of miners.
And I'm a big fan of money, so.
A win-win.
Mm.
Yeah, but so after Frostfire's set, which was A+, we had Charax Destructor, who, as always, blew everyone out of the water.
Yeah,
As he
he
does.
destructed them.
He destructed their ears, and then re-destructed them into better ears.
I like that he wore his vinyl scratch hat.
Yeah, man.
He always wears like a funny hat of some sort. So
Or it's always a beanie.
yeah,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
And then after that, we had Evdog. So, like, he had put his set together sort of the day or so before. I actually sat with him, and I have some recordings on my phone that I'm going to put up eventually of him practicing. It's all, like, really good. And I was like, oh, you should do Little Griffin Girl and stuff. That was, like, some of my favorite songs by him, as he stayed with me. And the guitar he used, because he couldn't really bring one from Melbourne, was my classmate's. My classmate, like, he treats his guitar as if they were children, like both of them. And in the middle of this, Evan had like broken his nail, and he asked for a pick, and I rooted around in my music box, and I found
You derooted around in your...
yeah, man, I derooted around in my music box, and I found 2 guitar picks. One of them, actually, this was really weird. At the end of PonyCon during the bump out this year, I asked one of the guys, Jason, they had all those, like, neon night posters, like, the really big ones they had on, like, the wall behind the t-shirt merchandise store for the PonyCon stuff, and he had one of those on the table. I'm like, if no one wants that, can I take that? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And eventually, I got to take it. I had it in my bag. My bag was sort of off to the side, and it was kind of sticking out, and people were like, is this bag for posters and other random things? So I was helping pack something up somewhere else in the convention, and I come back and I find in my bag like 2 other posters. I found a pick, and upon closer inspection, like, I showed it to someone, and they're like, that's Pony-1 Kenobi's pick. It was like this orange pick with like bite marks, and I'm like, alright. Okay, I just kept it. I don't know why. I had his set list was in there. I think there's a bunch of papers from Replace's set list as well. I was like, where did all this come from? Who put this in here? I was like, I don't know. Keep it. Whatever. So they're floating around somewhere in my bedroom.
That's a really good cover story for I stole a bunch of stuff from PonyCon.
Yeah, it definitely is. It totally, like, I had to get past so many security guards on the way out. They tried to stop me because of my skin color and stuff. Damn racist.
Jono kept trying to get you against the wall.
He does that anyway. He came over from my place and was like, I'm disappointed by the hole in the wall in your next room. That's...
Who's in the next room?
Oh man, I had a party and it was really intense, and a girl ended up getting slammed. Against a wall. Now there's a hole.
Okay, I thought it was like a hole,
like a
into your sister's
fist-shaped
room.
hole or a girl-shaped hole.
It's a hole-shaped hole. And she got slammed in it, like, her back first, and, like, on closer inspection of the wall, there was a giant ass screw sticking out of it because my wardrobe's on the other side of that wall. And it was where one of the shelves were.
I'm gonna assume it ended happily.
Oh man.
Even though it probably didn't. I'm just gonna assume, friendship and magic and love and tolerate and all that wound up prevailing at that party.
That kind of stuff, yeah, man. It was a great party.
All
that was like the
stuff.
only mishap that happened.
Your house has been haunted ever since.
Yeah, man. It's been haunted. Now when I have parties, they're called Slam. I'm not even
having slams.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's Slam 2K14.
For breakfast,
do you eat
Slam Jam?
It's like it's kind of ritualistic now. At 1 o'clock in the morning, we play Slam really, really loud.
Come on and Slam. Yeah. You wanted. Also, the idea of Slam Jam is actually really sort of, if you think about what that could mean.
Boss.
And maybe we're segueing into the NSFW podcast again here, but that Slam Jam.
That reminds me of a Cyanide and Happiness comic I read recently.
Oh man.
Where there was some mysterious icing on the top of some pastry.
Oh boy. let's leave like the not so safe for work stuff up to Brandon.
Yep. Okay. Back to the
music show. So I gave him a pick, and he didn't end up using it during his set because he left it somewhere, and it's gone now. I gave him 2 picks, like one I had from my old music class, and then the orange one from PonyCon. And he's like, oh yeah, the orange one feels better, I'll keep it in my wallet. And then it just kind of disappeared. I was like, oh, I didn't have it, I'll just play without it. So in the middle of the set, I have to give a shout out to my mate Christian, who lent us a guitar, for not noticing that I had to clean the blood off it. Oh man, this sounds so metal. In the middle of the set, he stops, like, at the end of his, like, when he finishes the song, he's like, my finger is bleeding. Huh. And then he just kept playing. You know? So he's just, playing casually, blood everywhere on the guitar. And I get home, I'm like, shit. How do you clean blood from under the strings of a guitar?
Did you Google that?
I googled that. I would have, but I don't fancy being visited by the cops a second time.
Second time.
That was a joke.
Right.
Man, that was such a not very well received joke.
No, I was hoping there was some more story behind that because
Oh, no.
you can innocently Google the wrong thing and wind up in trouble before.
Once police ended up at my house, and I just go knock on the door. I went up, there's police officers. I was like, "Oh my, what happened? What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, your sister left this at Hurstville. Apparently my sister had just left her handbag in the shopping center." And
So the
came and
police
returned
had
it.
to...
Yeah.
This one didn't happen to me. This was back when I lived in the States, but there was a guy visiting from Australia at the neighbor's place, and I was just, like, sitting in the front yard, I think, practicing skateboarding tricks or something, metal and punk rock. And then, so the police went to the neighbor's place and they knocked on the door, and this Australian guy answered, and they're like, "Are you, like, Joe Schmedlap or whatever?" And he's just like, "Yeah." It's like, "Your visa's been canceled. You're being deported."
Ooh.
And the guy just started freaking out. And they were, like, going on all these things about, like, what was going to happen. Like, they had to put him in handcuffs, take him to, like, the embassy where he might be, like, charged with all this shit. Strike two. And then, like, after he was, like, freaking out, like, he went back inside to get his stuff and got all of his stuff. The cops just break out laughing. And then tell him it was all a prank set up by, like, the actual person who lives in the house.
Wow.
Visiting. And I was just like... Yeah, so that happened. And the guy was, like, nervously laughing, like, I'm sure what was going through his mind. It's like, "Oh, I'm not being deported. Am I? Like, cops here kill people. Oh, God." Like, it was the most awkward thing, and the least professional cops, but yeah, that's my cop visiting story, I guess.
Jesus.
It wasn't me, but yeah.
That's like...
Cops.
I want to do that to someone now. Have them let the cops visit my house during the middle of a party and ask for one of my friends. Get them all freaked out.
I've never had a bad experience with cops, and I think that's something I should be proud of, or it means I'm not living my life to the fullest, one or the other.
I've never really
had
an experience with cops.
There's no police in Tasmania.
We're all the police here.
I would not be surprised. No one would, but like everyone would get away with everything because everyone would be related to the one police officer.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just this family passes.
There's only like one family down there anyway. This is just like the Johns, and that's it.
The John. Well, what's your last name?
Mescal.
Oh,
that's the family. The Mescals.
Now everyone knows where to like. Oh, there's probably like 3.
Oh no, we can beat that out.
Haha, you fell for my trick.
I'm thinking like we name dropped a few people.
Yeah, I name drop myself. I don't really mind too much because most people won't even believe that's my real name, so I'm sad.
Is Thor actually like part of your name?
Thor is my legitimate middle name. Yes.
Wow.
I can't take credit for it though. That's the parents. Parents named me. They get the credit for it. It'd feel weird if I took it. Back to the music show.
Yeah, anyway, so Evdog starts bleeding on a guitar, and I freaked out. That was great.
Yeah, so we got him first aid and he was okay.
Yeah, he was.
But you did get it cleaned in that before
I cleaned it before I returned it, and I was praying not to get an angry phone call. Is there blood on my guitar? Oh shit, I missed the spot. What were you doing with my guitar?
I didn't think that was a metal concert.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was about to say, you could spin it the other way. Like, it now your guitar is hardcore.
Yeah.
I helped you by bleeding
I think
all
there
over
had
it.
to be like one little injury because I know at PonyCon earlier in this year, my mate Kale, we were in a mosh pit together and he broke his nose. Like, I don't know how it happened, but he broke his nose.
Okay. Oh, so there was a nose. It's not a PonyCon unless there's a nose injury.
Yeah, was there one at the first one? I don't know.
Yeah, I got punched in the face.
Wait, that was
yeah, that was
you.
What did you do to get punched in the face?
You at the selling me panel.
No, that wasn't this. That was Flankcaster.
I didn't hear about the Flankcaster panel. I only heard about the Selling Me
it was
one.
really last minute. Yeah, there was the Selling Me panel. We don't talk about that.
No, wait, you'd really think the guy. Oh, but now we've mentioned it, so if people don't know about it, we have to talk about it.
Okay, well, go back to Selling Me panel. I'm talking about Selling Me panel now. Like, I know exactly what happened there. There was an empty room, and there was a Selling Me and a microphone. And Selling Me got on the microphone and just started talking about, the Ingress, I'm assuming. And then a whole bunch of other people showed up and thought it was a legitimate thing. For those people who don't know who Selling Me is...
He runs the MLP Music Archive.
Yeah, he runs the MLP Music Archive. People who don't know what he's like personally, he's very blunt, very smug, very sure of himself, very confident, and not the easiest person to get along with. And that is the most PG way, safest way I'm going to explain things. Like, he's not an easy person to get along with.
There's an Australian word we could use.
And so when he had his panel and he's just talking himself up, and then like people thought it was a legitimate thing because he is confident in himself and he seems like he knows what he's talking about, probably because he does. And like it actually filled up and it turned into an actual panel. And then from what I gathered, like it actually got streamed and had a lot of viewers and was just very successful for whatever reason. I know one of my mates, Braden Walsh, who used to frequently appear on Flamecaster, got on the panel too, and apparently just ripped into him the entire time, which people found funny. But so the Selling Me panel happened, and beforehand I was planning on having a Flamecaster panel for the convention, but I wound up pulling out because I think it was uni as well at the time. And I didn't think I could commit to actually going to the convention, but as it turned out I did. Then I found out there's a free slot. So after the Selling Me panel happened, I actually tried to pull some strings and wound up getting the Flamecaster panel together. And we had that happen. The problem was there was no plan for it, so it just turned into a Q&A. And the people who were there had just been to the Selling Me panel. And so they were in the mood for some sort of rambunctious, fun go-getter, who really cares what's happening. And being as I am, I started playing off that and started, making fun of the people a bit, started bad-mouthing a couple of the show's characters and all that. And, people were jokingly throwing things at me when I'd say stuff like, Twilight Sparkle's overrated or things like that, and they would throw stuff and we'd all have a laugh. And then someone asked the question, who is the worst pony? And I said what I honestly think, which is Pinkie Pie is the worst pony. And in response, this person comes charging out of the second row, jumps over the table, I think to crash tackle me, but misses his body because this is, a brony and probably doesn't do much physical activity. So
he was drunk.
Coordination. Oh yeah, he also was a bottle of vodka in, and just fist directly to the nose, right to the face. Down I go, down he goes. I quickly bounce up because I'm thinking okay, they're now jumping behind the scenes. I'm very lucky to even have this panel to begin with. If the people behind the scenes realize how out of control it's gotten, they're going to pull the plug on this, and then no more panel, sad. So I'm just going to act like nothing ever happened, play it cool, and get control. What I didn't realize was my nose has just exploded into a torrent of blood. And so I'm just talking calmly as if nothing happened. Okay guys, let's just keep it cool and keep talking about the show. Here are some good characters. Everyone loves Scootaloo. Yay. And this puddle of blood is just growing larger and larger on the table underneath me. And I'm just oblivious to it, a mix of the days, a mix of trying to keep control. And the people in the first two rows are just watching, mouths open agape this is the most metal thing I've seen. This guy just got nailed in the face. His nose must be broken because of all this blood, and he just doesn't care. He just keeps going, and eventually the first aid people had to pull me aside. Misha, the person who hit me, got thrown out of the convention, and thus I became the guy who got punched in the face at a panel at PonyCon. and kept going like nothing happened.
Yeah, the person who got kicked out of the convention, like, he's the first person to be kicked out of a pony convention.
That's pretty. I actually ran into him in the city the next day.
Oh man, that would have been.
And he was super apologetic. Like he's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. I think he just got caught up in the moment because, as I said before,
And the alcohol.
In the alcohol, people were throwing stuff at me way before that, and I was sort of egging it on. But I didn't expect to actually get nailed in the face.
There is a video of it somewhere.
We can throw up the link if you want.
Please send me the link.
I can't find, like, it used to be really easy to find, and then it's kind of evaporated, and I can't find it anywhere.
It made it onto FimFiction, actually.
Did it?
Of all the places, yeah.
What the hell?
So yeah, the point is, though, you can't have a PonyCon without a nose injury.
That is
So
amazing.
we have broken noses, punched noses. I'm excited to see how, like, some of this nose will get physically removed at this next one.
Oh man, that is totally happening.
I'm hoping it involves lasers.
Oh, that'd be so good. Also, so people know, Hoofwave will definitely be at PonyCon 2015.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of stapled in as their photo guys.
Sweet.
Cannot confirm or deny, but yeah, it's pretty.
I can't confirm or deny other things, but I might not be available for taking pictures.
That's okay.
It's also probably a good thing for you because not knowing how to take pictures, I'll probably save a lot of drama and heartbreak.
It'll probably, like, my photo team will probably be like the same group of people I had before. But also, while we're on this topic, if anyone would like to join a photo team and is thinking of going to PonyCon in February?
February 23rd.
Yeah, February 20. I think it's 21st. No, 21st and 22nd. The 23rd is my sister's birthday.
I thought it was earlier than that.
No.
No, it's
The 20
the
the-
22nd, 23rd.
23rd?
Oh, no, 21st, 22nd. 21st, 22nd.
Yeah,
you're
23rd
right.
is a Monday. And this is my sister's birthday, so I'm actually, I went to Melbourne with my mom. I'm going to be going by myself to Queensland, or at least with a friend. It's my sister's birthday the next day, and she's like, I don't care if you're at my birthday, I just hope I only care if you get me a present. I'm like, okay. Well,
What a loving sister.
Yeah, man, she's the 14, or should be 15 at this point in, like, next.
The teenager.
Yeah, she's a teenager. And I just don't care. Yeah. I'm like, okay then, I'll get you a present. Not really.
What is it that teenagers like these days?
Butts.
I'm a teenager and I don't know.
Get her one of those boy band pictures.
She likes Nicki Minaj.
Oh,
Perfect.
I hate Nicki Minaj so much.
She's a porn star
She is a porn star.
with auto-tune.
But see, I don't have an opinion on Nicki Minaj either way. Now that I wish I did. I think the problem I have with Nicki Minaj is she doesn't really seem to sing her songs. She's one of the ones, kind of like Kesha, I found, who spends a majority of their music career just speaking their songs.
Mhm.
So,
This is
I
rap.
don't know. Yeah.
This is rap.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Is that her?
I hope not. I really do.
Anyways,
Anyway, I think we've kind of moved on from that.
All right, good. Cause
I mean,
I wanted
nothing else really that spectacular happened after the concerts. I know that, like, as soon as you guys finished the opening ceremony, I was straight on to, like, prepping that area for the concerts. And then, so that was like, what, 11 o'clock? And then 11:15 concerts start. 2 o'clock on the dot we managed to finish somehow. I mean, I know that Replacer kind of, he joined in onto Oliver Lakota's set, which was the fill time. Not Oliver Lakota's set, he joined onto Evdog's set. There was a little bit of trouble with the keyboard and the latency behind it, because Oliver was like, oh, I can set it up, don't worry, and then there was a latency issue, so he'd press a key and about 5 seconds later the computer would actually play the sound. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, so that happened. We managed to fix it before Oliver and Feather's set. Feather again was amazing. Jeez, it was a pretty good concert all in all. The attendance was much bigger at the start and kind of just thinned out a little bit, but it built up a bit at a little bit.
Well, there were a fair few people at the auction though.
Yeah.
Oh, the auction was awesome.
But as soon as the concerts were over, for me it was like concerts are over. Now we set up for Ashley Ball, and then I didn't get to do anything. Like as soon as Ashley Ball was set up, and then I was taking photos for the rest of the day, and then Ashley Ball went home, and then I got to like eat for the first time in 6 hours or so.
Yeah, I was really thankful. A friend like went down to the food court and
James and
James for me
James
during the concert.
He doesn't like it when I name drop him. Unknown, well I like to call him Onion or Onion or Uncle Owen. So knows him. Unknown and Metahue was so kind enough that during the concerts they dropped down to the food court and bought me lunch. So they got me
the real heroes.
They got me a kebab, so I got to remove kebab while I was at the convention.
They were the real heroes of the show.
They were the real heroes. They saved me from starvation. So
Well,
exactly after that, and then I got to like go through the stalls for 15 minutes, and then I went down and there was like one cafe open in the University of New South Wales food court, and the lady there working, she was pretty nice. I want to say
she was insane.
Did you? Yeah, she was insane, man. Like I went down, I was fishing for some like my lost my change out of my pocket. I was like, oh, I got a few coins in my pocket. Give me a second. She was like, if you can't find them, you can just give me your pants. I was like,
She tried to buy the shirt off, like the shirt I was wearing at the time. She tried to buy that off me. She was like, I'll give you $20 for that shirt right now. I'm like, do you really want this shirt? She's like, nah, I just want to see you shirtless. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to now.
Well, I'm glad I know it wasn't just me. Wow. Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure her husband was there too and just like shaking his head at her. Like, just like, oh, this woman, I have to live with her.
So I was like,
oh, she got really pissed off at someone too.
Really?
Yeah. Because like he changed his order like 3 times. And she just got like super frustrated and was just like bad mouthing him. Towards him, was like, whoa, don't get on her bad side.
I heard she like threatened to close the cafe at like 3 or 4 p.m. I don't know why, but she apparently she said she was being like verbally abused or something. She was like, "Oh, I'll just close then."
Yeah, she was nuts. It made for a fun. It added to the flavor of the event.
It's all salvaged.
It was all salvaged. Yeah, the auction was fun. Like, I don't know if you want to segue to the auction now, but like
I didn't get to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to? I'll leave it to you.
Next time I'll go.
Okay. I feel like the auction is worth noting
Do
because
it, man.
for a lot of people, I felt like the auction felt like the highlight. I think for some, like when I'm talking to people, they talk about the music was good, and they talk about the ball pit.
We had a ball pit.
The auction. Yeah, we did. I brought that thing.
Yeah,
Georgie helped.
And then you just left it in Hyde Park, and I hear they like threw it in a dumpster.
No, I left it at SalvageCon.
Oh yeah, someone brought it to Hyde Park.
Someone packed it up, kept the balls, and then brought it to Hyde Park, and I was just like, okay. But
It's
I thought
following
me
me.
back to Perth. I thought it was going to stalk me back to Perth. Like I'm still half expecting it to appear in the mail one day, and then someone just starts sending me like a ball in the mail each and every day. But yeah, so the auction, I have to say, like, that was the second auction I've been a part of, trying to auction things. And the last one was so terrible that I was super nervous going into this one, especially because of all the Fluttershy stuff. Because last time...
What was terrible about the first one you won?
Okay, so the first one...
He was on it.
It was a small one. It was a lot smaller. And the stuff that was up for auction, there was a couple really cool things. But the people there who was bidding, did not have money except for like 2 people, and the stuff wasn't. Some of the stuff wasn't the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember specifically, there was like this Fluttershy sock puppet thing. It was a Fluttershy one and a Twilight one, and I could see what the person creating it was trying to go for. Like, it looked cute and all. I probably would have paid $5 for it. She wanted 15, and it was barely worth 15, and she would not accept any less. So I'm like, okay, I'll try to sell this thing for 15. Lo and behold, no one goes for it because it's not very good. So I'm like, oh, and I'm really trying to sell it. Like, there's a rock inside it for some reason. It's like, oh, look, it comes with Tom and angels on it as well. Yay. And no one goes for it, so I'm like, alright, screw it, we'll try and throw in the Twilight as well. And then some people start bidding 15 for that, and like, I had to peel that $15 bid off the crowd. And then I'm just like, you know what, let's just see what happens. Let's take Fluttershy away, and how much the Twilight will go for. Straight away, Twilight sells for $35, meaning the Fluttershy is worth negative $20. And the person who made them, I could just feel her annoyance, like, and how pissed off she got that no one was bidding on this Fluttershy, like, and directed at me, as if it was my fault. Like, I felt like she was blaming me, and I was just like, oh, this is awful. I felt so bad. Eventually, someone pity bought the thing for $10, but I just felt so bad, and, like, you know, that's a bit of a confidence hit when you can't sell the item that you were supposed to. At the same time as well, there was also an MLP trading card that was trying to go for like $200, and I didn't even bother trying to sell that because no one had money. That's neither here nor there. Point was Fluttershy. So when we get to this auction, every single plushie was Fluttershy, and straight away I started having flashbacks to just like,
I'm gonna have to sell this for minus $20.
These Fluttershy things, and then like Harry, you gave me that list of like, okay, here's how much each thing kind of has to go for, and I'm looking at the prices, it's like $50, $60. I'm just like, oh shoot, this is not gonna be easy. And like, I'm talking to Matthew, I'm like, Matthew, how much of this do you want to do? He's like, I'm okay to just sort of sit back. I'm like, oh well, we can do one item then the other. He's like, like, he didn't seem that into it. So I'm like, okay, here we go, let's rock this. And we were supposed to do it in that order as well, and I thought things were going to go bad when I was supposed to try and auction 10 t-shirts in a row.
Yeah, the order really didn't have any thought behind it. I just felt like I needed to have one as a basic guideline.
Yeah, and like, oh, those shirts, and it was just, I thought it was going to go so bad, and I was like, you know what?
I thought we were going to sell a Hoofwave t-shirt on the auctions, but we didn't end up doing that.
Oh, you should have. I would have been down for that.
Harry, whatever happened to that, man?
No,
Yeah.
you didn't ask me about
I
it.
did ask you, and you said...
I disagree.
Yes, I did. Oh,
Either
I
way,
know what happened. You said, oh yeah, I'll get back to you, and then you didn't.
Oh, you should have reminded me. We ran out of time as it was. So.
Yes.
Yeah, that auction was rushed at the end because of Paul. Like, I love Paul, don't get me wrong, like, he was great in that auction, but man, he dragged those things out with those last second bids. I don't know, that auction was a lot of fun for those who missed it. Like, there will be is that going to be released, the video of the auction?
I don't know.
As far as I know. Like, all of the editing for all of the videos
I have
is
to...
happening right now.
Yeah, I have to say, while we're in the... If you're working for Hoofwave, for a convention, you will... I have to ask, please do not volunteer for anything else during the convention. Because I need you doing photography stuff. This is mainly directed because our camera... the dude who did the most, like, the majority of our video, up in Mona Vale, or wherever the hell he lives, he kept getting pulled away for doing other stuff because he had, like, volunteered to do a little bit of their IT stuff, and like, the other convention organizers were pulling him away, and he would come back like, oh, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm like, I gave everyone a schedule. Please stick to it. Here, like, every single panel that you can, I want you to record. And then also, but the concerts have a higher priority over the panels, and there's only for like 3 hours, and there's panels for the rest of the day. And then just record those and record the cosplay competition. I'm just sort of like waiting on it a little bit. It was all good quality footage. You know, I just, for the amount of times he kind of just disappeared and reappeared, I'm just kind of like, if you're working for Hoofwave, you're working for Hoofwave. Like, you feel free to help bump in and bump out, but like during the day, if you're taking photos and you're like scheduled in for something, you're scheduled in for something, not to help someone else.
Everyone has a job and a piece in the grand picture,
Exactly.
and if one person doesn't show up, everything goes down.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I'm excited to see our footage, but I'm also not excited to see what footage we've lost or missed, because I actually don't know. I know the musicians were recorded. I know artist panel wasn't. Oh no, panel was kind of, but that footage was lost.
Oh no!
It was lost because Unknown, who I got to record it, is too lazy to send it to me, and also doesn't know how to watermark.
Oh boy. The artist panel was great though. Like, we drew funny sketches. The crowd got involved.
I didn't get
we
to
made
see
horrible,
any panels.
we made horrible stoner references.
It's
A lot of
like
those.
3 years now, and the only panel I've been to was the artist panel and the animated panel from PonyCon 2013.
Mm.
Yeah, it was Holly. It
Yeah,
was
the
Holly
artist-
Dash.
You know what panel was surprisingly, like, amazing? That I had my doubts beforehand, but surprised me? The plushie panel.
Yes, that was.
And that was super last
that
minute.
was so last minute.
Like,
That was
I think 2 days before the con,
We decided to
Will
have
was
that
like,
one.
we should have a plushie panel.
Like, not only was it packed, like, not only were there a lot of people there and interested, like, there's a lot of things about plushies I did not know about. Like, they are hardcore ladies who do those, and the guys who do, but, like, I'm just saying ladies because they were actually at the panel, and it was just 3 girls. But, like, just some of the injuries they were describing and, like, the behind-the-scenes competition, like, plushie making is not for the faint of heart.
Christ.
I mean, getting a needle jammed up your fingernail and, like, slowly prying it off is not fun imagery.
What's more metal than making plushies?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's what I learned at. That's what I learned at SalvageCon.
But you
I just
know
wanna
what?
go-
What panel apparently was like terrible?
Oh,
The mixed media panel.
I wasn't there. for
Oh,
that. I
that's-
missed
that's-
that.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either, and I'm so happy about it. Because one of the panelists told me he actually fell asleep during it and was wondering, like, did anyone notice?
Oh my gosh! I did not notice. Oh, I am happy I was not a part of that one.
The MC we had for that wasn't you or McKenna. It was the person who really
We didn't even have an MC for that one?
No, it was Banished Tracks.
Damn.
Yeah.
I thought McKenna was going to be doing that one.
No. It was Banished Tracks. He was the MC. I no offense to the guy, but yeah, I don't know what to say.
That's awkward.
Someone take the words from me, 'cause
If someone falls asleep on your panel, you are doing a unsatisfactory performance of the job you have been assigned, and you may need to rethink your future career endeavors. There we go. That's polite.
yeah, that's polite. It's just like when Brilliant sort of said, "Oh yeah, Banished Tracks is going to organize this panel." And
What?
that was exactly our reaction. Was like, wait, what? Like, are you sure? Perfectly sure? Like, really sure? Like myself, and I don't think it was you, Harry. It was someone else in the internal team. It's like, no, don't do it.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I actually would have liked to see that now. Just to see
I
some,
know, like, I think from what I understand was, like, it wasn't bad, it just kind of dragged on a bit. I know there was, like, one person who was on the panel that we didn't want on the panel. Because we needed them, we had them already on a panel, and it was sort of like, why have them on two?
I heard that like one person, like from what I heard from the panel, I didn't hear about anyone falling asleep, but from what I heard, one person just spent the entire time talking and like didn't really share. So,
I can tell you right now, that is Spanish tracks.
there we go.
I've had the pleasure of being on Who the Buck Are You with Spanish tracks, his show on Australia on air.
Yeah.
With a person from America called Pinkaboo, who if have you seen the Babscon animatic?
Yeah.
Yep. She's the girl who sings Golden Gates, like the Babscon OC. Like I've on it with her. I was on his show on the live one. I feel kind of bad for her. But she had to stay up because it was live. She had to stay up till 9 o'clock Brisbane time, which is the same as Sydney time. Which was like 5 o'clock in the morning for her. And I think he must have put her under the impression that it was sort of a big thing, but looking at the stream, there's only like 3 people, including myself, like listening to it.
Australia does not get many viewers.
Yeah. I'm slowly trying to listen to me, big businessman, slowly trying to cannibalize the rest of Australian Brony podcasting into this.
I feel like I have made a lot of behind the scenes political enemies now just by appearing on this.
No one hates us.
Good.
Except
good.
Kuroshia.
I like
Kuroshia hates everything though, except
I like
wrestling.
Kuroshi. Kuroshi and I got along from that one podcast we did.
You'll get along, and then you'll like he'll stub his toe on you, and then he'll yell at you, and then just
Yeah,
escalates.
probably.
from there.
And if he yells at me, that's cool because I get yelled at a lot.
If he yells at you, it's high time you just move on because it doesn't end. You can apologize as much as you want, but once the bull is angry, the bull has nothing else to do but be angry.
That's fair. That's it.
But Max, I want to ask you a question,
Oh boy.
Yeah, go for
and
it.
I want you to be honest here, because I
Yes.
haven't talked to anyone about this at all. So you were at the writers' panel for the whole, however long it was.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
in the audience for most of it, and then you jumped on for a little while.
Yeah.
What did you think of that, just in general?
The writers. Okay. You know, for the Q&A part was fine. Like, I really only came in for the ending because, like, you didn't know what you were going to have to do without that. So, just for, like, a little bit of behind the scenes, I guess. Like, the plan was for the writers panel was you're going to do the Q&A and then have a writing contest and have sort of McKenna and I come in and sort of entertain the crowd, I guess, with you while they're writing, which is, you know, let's watch paint dry, let's watch writers write and not see what they're actually writing. Which I was down for. And so I get there, and from my experience, like, that went fine. Like, I thought it went fine. Like, the crowd seemed to enjoy themselves. From my perspective, you and McKenna had great chemistry at the time, and I really felt like I didn't have that same chemistry with you two. Which is why I was, like, halfway through, like, you know what? I'm just going to write my own thing. Because my jokes are falling flat. I can't really bounce off you two. I'm just going to write my own fic and let you guys have fun with it. So that was sort of the thing behind there. So honestly, I kind of felt like I was the weak link of that, but you guys did great.
I think maybe we just have like different senses of humor, and so to be up there together and trying to make jokes and bounce off each other, it wasn't ideal.
Exactly that. Don't get me wrong, like, you guys did fine, and I'm sure, like, I have my sort of in front of a stage mannerisms and that. Everyone has their own, and just because they don't get along doesn't mean one's better than the other. And, like, right from the start, I picked up on the fact that, like, okay, you guys have your thing going on. I can force myself into it, but that will feel really forced, and I think that would come across very much so. And so I went plan B, which was, you know, do my own thing. And write my own crappy fanfic with horrible handwriting about I don't even remember.
I know what the topic was. I don't remember what any of the actual stories were about.
I chose the topic, actually. Because no one else wanted to volunteer, so I was like, alright, I'll just throw it down. It was band camp.
This one time at band camp.
The one time at band camp.
This
and-
one time at band camp, a bunch of kids locked themselves in their room, started all shitting in the toilet. No one flushed, and then started smoking weed.
But no, I thought the writers, like, as a whole, the writers panel was fine. I think a lot of people had fun. It's really hard to read things in a funny way without a visual aid. I found, like, visual aids really help, but which is actually giving me ideas right now.
Uh-oh.
That could be fun.
This is a problem.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, combine the artists and the writers panel without them. Oh, well, this will spoil it. So I'm not sure I should say that. Screw it. Like, it's fun ideas. Get the artists and the writers panel to each have the same sort of fanfic idea, where you get the writers, first you get the artists to draw the cover of it, which is what was one of the artist challenges, actually, where they all had to draw the cover for the fanfic Blazing Saddles. And then you get the writers to write that fanfic based off the cover. And that way, when you're reading out loud, the audience will at least have the funny imagery to go with it. I think that would probably make it a bit more successful, I guess. Get the audience more involved. But as a whole, I had a lot of fun with the writers panel. Like, the fanfics were pretty funny. The writers were good. So yeah, no, you did fine with that. Like, well, good job.
I'll be honest though, I kind of forgot half of their names after like the first 5 minutes of the panel.
I forgot that Dawn Allies was part of PonyCon.
Really?
Yeah, and right at the start she corrected me, and I was just like, oh, I knew that. I knew I recognized that. And it was just awkward. Like, that was the one hiccup of the artist panel. But that was bad. And I was just like, oh. And I don't think, like, people were still shuffling in, so they didn't really notice and kind of got away with that. But that was my mistake. Name-wise is fine. Like, a good tip for people who ever host panels is write down the names. Just straight up write down the names and where they're sitting. I did that for every single one of my panels, and it helped me a lot. Especially, like, normally the correct approach is to do research, talk to the people beforehand, ask them what they want to have asked you, all that. But for SalvageCon, because it was so rushed and put together last minute, like, I didn't know a couple of the people, so I had to, like, write down their names on the sheet of paper, like, pull them aside, ask them what they do, especially for the plushie panel. And yeah, that's a fun tip. It helps, especially because it makes you look more professional too, because you have, like, your padded notes. But yeah, the artist panel was a lot of fun. The writers panel was fun. Every panel was fun except for apparently mixed media.
Yeah.
I'm so sad to hear that.
I didn't. I guess until we see, like,
The actual
footage.
What other panels were there? Because there was mixed media, there was
Plushie,
artists.
artist, writing, music,
Yeah.
mixed media.
Oh, and the cards.
Oh, Ponyfied. There's a Ponyfied panel.
Ponyfied
Oh, yeah.
had a panel.
Yeah.
How did that go? Because that was McKenna, I think, and Kez.
No, I think it was just... I don't think there was an actual MC. I think it was just Brill and Kez.
That would have been good. Brilliant, well spoken.
Mm.
Because that was during the cosplay contest. That cosplay contest.
I feel really sorry for the music panel because it was on at the same time as Ashley Ball still signing stuff and the cosplay contest.
Yeah, it was awkward time.
Yeah.
But, that's what happens when you have to rush things. And I'm pretty sure there were still people at the music panel.
There were like 10 people in the crowd.
Oh. The cosplay contest, though, I felt bad for some of the cosplayers there because it was pretty rushed. Ashley Ball went a little overtime, so, like, I wanted to spend more time interviewing the people.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, like, that can happen, and I don't know. I also am disappointed with the fact that the Crusaders didn't win.
Who did win? Was it Paul and his daughter?
No, it was Regina and her beautiful chrysalis.
Oh.
It was the, it was Regina. It was the corset, tail, dyed hair. Like, it was really nice. Definitely, like, not an undeserving winner by any stretch of the imagination. Like, a lot of effort was put into it, especially for her first time. And then her daughter was, like, the Cadence, I think, as well, if I remember. But it was a beautiful cosplay, but at the same time, the Crusaders, man! Those guys were intimidating as hell. And, but that was... The cosplay contest is what made it onto the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing to talk about now I think about it. Like, the news report from SBS, that was great. That was much better. SBS, I mean ABC.
ABC.
The SBS one was the first one that happened just after the first PonyCon last year. It was pretty good. Could have been better.
I'm going to be that one guy who didn't like the ABC one.
You didn't like
Really?
the ABC one?
I didn't like the ABC one because, too many clips from the show. I know that sounds really, like, nitpicky, but I felt like the clips from the show almost trivialized everything, like, the messages that the people were trying to say.
Yeah.
But the messages there were a lot better than the ones from before.
They were. Like, the messages were good. The interviews I really liked. I didn't like how I was on there as much as, like, they chose the... I would have liked not being on it.
I would have liked to have been on it.
Yeah, me too.
You were, Harry.
Was I?
I think you were. Yeah, you were. I remember I was on the SBS one for like a split second because they zoom out on my face onto me drawing. Because it was like an opera house meetup. And my
cool.
friends took that face and made it into like a meme inside a little group. And I hate them for it.
It's only because they care.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, like, as a whole, though, Harry, I know you were on it because there was a brief shot of us talking during the cosplay.
I've got the video up right now. I'm gonna check after this.
I think I could be wrong, but it's like I duck down. It's towards the end. I like crouch down while the people are walking to like try and hide, and like we're talking about something.
During the cosplay contest.
Yeah.
That was probably when
at the auction.
Yeah, I just came up for like 1 second to check that you knew what you were doing, and then I went off and watched the music panel.
Yeah, that was. I think they got that bit on camera. I think. I could be wrong though. Like it could have been someone else. That's just from memory. My memory's bad at the moment. I love that cosplay contest. Like, I'm excited to see what happens at PonyCon. I want to see some awesome cosplays at PonyCon. Because like, if the level of cosplay was this good for salvage.
Although
like,
to
when
be
people
fair,
prepare-
a lot of people already had cosplays prepared for Sydney.
True. But I don't know. I'm pretty hyped for the PonyCon cosplay because I always like people watching, and cosplayers are always fun. The dragon's always fun.
Yeah,
What's the name of the
person,
drag-
I don't know, but they've been to like all of the PonyCons.
I know. It's not as. I remember there was a different dragon at the first PonyCon actually that was kind of creepier.
But there was also the gold one that was there this time.
Yeah, that gold one was there both.
Yeah.
It's
For
the first
some
time I've
reason-
seen this gold one.
For some reason in my head, I know it's not true, but I just keep wanting to say it's noteworthy. Even though I know it's not. In my head, that's...
Why is it?
I know. I don't, because it has a name similar to yours. I forget the name of the dragon.
Oh, well. Well, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So,
Oh, by the way, Sea Spray.
Sea Sprite.
Joseph is Sea Spray. Sea Spray is Joseph.
Okay.
I told you it would come back to me.
Sweet.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So, like, that was so... Salvage
yeah.
Con, complete success, and what do you reckon, Harry? Do you think between the two of us and the rest of our crew there would be enough energy for 2015?
I mean, I personally really want to. I think
A few
lot
other
of
people
Yeah, a lot
want
of people
to.
on the crew just loved organising this, and I think would love to do another one, but we'll see, I guess.
Maybe.
We'll discuss it at some point in the
A
future.
2015 SalvageCon 2015. I know that in Australia there just isn't enough space for two full pony conventions, but
If we did another
one,
it would definitely be another one-day
event, yeah,
around the
definitely.
same time zone, just to give people something to do.
So, just in case, like, someone says, oh, but you can only do it if there's the absence of an event, I'm going to announce HoofCon right now. It will be happening at the same time, same time in Sydney, and
HarryCon 2014.
HarryCon 2014, and we will cancel
In
it 9
Tasmania.
days before and have another SalvageCon.
It's going to be held in Tasmania
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, and
in
then the
Harry's
SalvageCon
backyard.
will be in Sydney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Can we have... I'm skeptical on, like... I'm going to be that guy and say, like, I think one of the reasons why SalvageCon was so successful was the interstaters who couldn't cancel their plane tickets. I think convincing people to fly interstate for a second SalvageCon...
I think if people did, like, if a lot of people were more like, oh, that's a shame, I guess I'll just, like, won't go to Sydney, there wouldn't have been a SalvageCon.
Exactly.
If the amount of uproar about it, especially on, like, 4chan, /MLP, and Horse News got in on it. I was actually in the call with the person who sent it to Horse News and stuff. I got name dropped in that MLP thread like twice, but until I had been name dropped, I hadn't seen it. Like, someone was pretending to be me. I don't.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, they
That's always
were
fun.
pretending to be me. I was like, alright, because I was playing Destiny, so he was like, are you in this thread? How cool is this thread? I'm like, what thread? I don't go on 4chan. What the hell's going on? So
I know people who actually came just to, like, see the potential spaghetti from WA.
Yeah.
Like, after, like, it was pretty much Sydney canceled, I'm going. Like, I want to be on ground zero. So...
It was a bit of a minefield. Especially for some people who, like, have friends on both sides of this. There's, like, it was a huge shit fight going on.
Oh, it was beautiful. And, like, yeah, I mean, I have friends on both sides.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like... And so, I'm neutral as can be in the whole situation. Part of the reason why I think I have that, I'm able to do so is, there's no way of saying this without sounding like kind of arrogant and horrible, but I almost feel like I was one of the few people who benefited the most with Sydney being canceled.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, you'd be on the same boat.
I would be, definitely.
You would be on, like, like, pretty much everyone who was a part of
SalvageCon, like,
SalvageCon itself
got the better out of it. Because
Yeah,
it
just
was like,
like,
I had been kicked off doing the Sydney concerts for stupid reasons. Completely not my fault. I actually did a lot of work towards them. And the person organising them just suddenly decided they didn't like me and kicked me off. And I was like, yeah, alright.
But yeah, like, it's so...
I ended up organising
it's-
concerts anyway.
It's really awful to think about that, too, because you have friends on both sides, because, I mean, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I'm assuming you guys did want Sydney to succeed, especially when it was first announced, and, like, what it involved. Because, you know, it was a cool idea, and you have friends involved, so, like, yay, go Sydney. But then for it to fail, and then to come out better, as a result, like, from a personal point, like, you got more involved, we got to do things, and, like, we probably got a better experience out of it as a result. There is that sense of guilt, like, oh, that kind of sucks, but yay, but yay, and I don't know. I'm super happy with SalvageCon, and you guys did a great job. Everyone a part of SalvageCon did such a great job in such a short time. Like, I'm just still in so much shock and amaze at how smoothly and how positive and how much fun everyone had. Like, I'm rambling. Sorry.
This is cool. Like,
No, I completely
podcast
agree.
is what you
Like,
do.
I've got friends on both sides, and so when it was cancelled, like, I was upset, of course. I was a little bit mad, but, like, I know that they're not bad people, and so I couldn't really be hugely angry at them. And then I did feel pretty guilty starting to organise SalvageCon, and then just kind of feeling like I betrayed them a little bit because they did this whole con and then we're just kind of replacing them a bit.
Well, you know, that's what happens when a thing gets canceled, and you shouldn't feel guilty for that. Like, that's not the thing I would feel guilty about. I guess I feel, and yet I still feel, I kind of felt the same way. Like, especially when I was talking to some of the organizers on the day, and, like, they weren't too happy about the way how things were going. I don't really want to go into more details about that one. But they weren't happy on the day, understandably, and meanwhile I was having a blast, and I'm like, well...
There was a little bit of
sorry
drama
I'm
that
having
happened
fun.
during the day, but it mostly got swept
was a
under
little
the
bit.
carpet.
It did, and I, like, see, that... I don't think we should... Yeah, that's your call if you want to go into
We don't need to
details
talk about that, because what was
Yeah, well,
was
alright.
brilliant about it was the drama that happened between the people that it happened with. Like, those people online were very prominent, but once it came into a public setting, no one knew who they were. So that was good.
Exactly, like, that's how come, because there's all these rumors, too, about, like, oh, if so-and-so shows up, there's going to be a fight and things like that, and no, there isn't. No one knows what each other looks like. No one's got enough, like, no one's going to start something in public over that, unless, you know, you're one of the people who lost over $1,000. Maybe. But even then, they wouldn't recognize who's
70%.
70%.
It's freaking. It's a meme now, or
I know.
I think it's kind of like beating a dead horse, but
Beating 70%
well,
of the Deadpool.
yeah.
The best thing to come out of Sydney was that OC.
That
And
receives,
if-
yeah, and we were going
That
to try and
receives-
purchase her.
And if you could purchase that OC, then you know what? I'm gonna say right now, the three of us will be the champions
Yeah,
of Sydney
We'll win.
Salvage
We'll
Con.
win. We win.
We
We
will
win.
win that. Well, we've already won, but that will be like the trophy.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Plus, I think like the money that they're trying to get now is going to go into like helping pay people back for refunds.
That's pretty good.
So that was like 70%, 70 cents to $1 for refunds. That's not cool. Like, you shouldn't do that.
I want to know why they said 70 cents to every dollar instead of just saying 70%.
Because that's I don't know.
Yeah,
That's-
who knows?
there's a lot of questions which you can ask. Why did they do X instead of Y? And it most of it became, you know, poor choice at the time for people who didn't really have experience and were learning on the job. And you know what? Every single pony convention did start out that way. And, you know, a few of them have fallen flat on their faces, and this just happened to be one of them.
Yeah, but it's like, they tried to outdo, like, what the story behind them is supposed to be is, like, they tried to outdo the first PonyCon, or they wanted to, like, they thought they could do a better job.
They tried to outdo this year's PonyCon.
Yeah.
They were aiming for 1,000 people, I think.
They thought they could do a better job as a first-time convention, and they didn't.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
They didn't even get the first time.
And you know what? First PonyCon. How many people were at the first PonyCon?
It was around 500 or 600. No, 400 or 500 maybe.
And then the second one was like 800.
Yeah.
So it went up. Wow, I wasn't sure if it went up or not.
I mean,
They-
we
they've-
had
they've
like
got the numbers on their
500,
website.
didn't we?
I can't remember.
Like, SalvageCon had like 500 people.
No, there was
No,
not.
there were
500.
300. Yeah, see, that's close.
Wow.
That's close.
300 is more than I was expecting. I was expecting like 100.
Yeah, I was expecting like
it was
5.
That's less than the team.
I know.
Well, that's sort of what I was expecting, like the amount of volunteers to outnumber the amount of people there just visiting. Like, I was expecting it to be like, and it turned into essentially like the people who were going to the actual convention to just wind up helping out because it's just that small and sort of like a real casual thing. But it was so much more professionally done than I was expecting, and like so many more people than I was expecting, and the venue was so perfect. It was so good.
So good.
It was so good.
Yeah, man.
And you got a boat.
I got a boat. I know. I got a boat.
I can't believe you stole my boat.
I didn't steal your boat.
Max tried to get me the boat, and then I didn't get the boat.
I know. I was voting for you.
And then
You're the only one who I
it was great. Like I hadn't eaten all day. And I kind of just came upstairs from the food court with my iced coffee and my bottle of water, and I think I bought myself like a donut, caramel donut. It's like the only thing I had left. And I was just like, oh yeah, and then Brilliant's like, come over here and flip a coin. I'm like, alright. So I flipped the coin, it was really, really high in the air and dropped somewhere, and I was like trying to catch it and I missed, and I was like telling her, like, I didn't do that, no one saw anything, and Brilliant's like, are you gonna flip the coin for you? It's like, okay, flips the coin, and I was like heads. I was like, okay, you want a boat? I'm like, what? I was like, what?
Yeah.
So, at some point during the day, or I think it was like the night before, our local brony with a 3D printer, Cider, he had printed off a Salvage Con boat with all the Salvage Con OCs on it. And it was silver, and it was great, and it's sitting upstairs. I spent like the next day, like in the mornings, I wasn't doing anything, just like, I had my hobby knife out and I was just cleaning it up a little bit. I'm actually going to paint it up. I play 40k, so I got hobby paints and hobby supplies, like, everywhere.
Did my net drop?
No, you're still there. We can hear you. We can hear you. Can he hear us? Is that the thing? Jeez. Harry.
What? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So sorry to interrupt. Like, was that a net issue for anyone else besides me?
Yeah, it dropped out a bit.
Okay.
No, I don't know. Okay, we can just cut that out. Yeah, so I got a boat and it's silver. I'm gonna paint it and paint everyone's OCs properly and stuff. Actually, when I was transporting it home, Miss Chaos, which is Brilliant's OC, actually fell off the boat. And
I wish that could be like a proper metaphor for something.
yeah, I wish too. And a horn broke off, but I had enough bits lying around everywhere. I found a suitable replacement, and I glued it back on. Yeah, so I'm
those boats look really cool. I was jealous of the boat.
I was so happy. I think I exclaimed my happiness when I was just standing. I'm like, man, I just got food and eaten all day, and now I'm getting a boat. This is great. And then I think when Brilliant was calling up all the people to say thank you to them as well.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, Nav, and he got me up. I think it was like Evdog standing at the back, and he was the rude sandstorm. And then I paid $10 for that sandstorm. And I did. It's great.
That's always fun. Did Pikachu's OC make it onto the boat?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, good.
Pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure Pika's OC made it on the boat.
His OC is on there,
Yeah.
He was so surprised with how things went with all
He's
that. Like
so
in a good sense. Like because I was part of. I'm saying part in the loosest terms, but like I was kind of helping him a very small bit with the original PikaCon idea, and like. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat this one. When we first heard about SalvageCon, like we were both kind of skeptical, but then like when we heard all the details, we were all like, "Oh, this is gonna be sick." So I'm happy he got his credit too, because that was. I don't want to say. No, I am gonna say it. Screw it. SalvageCon was much better than what PikaCon would have been on that day.
That's kind of like what I wanted to say to him was like this. I had where he held PikaCon in Hyde Park. I went to school there for near there for 8 months, and I was like, it's a great place, but you're not going to keep people who are expecting a convention entertained for 2 days in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
There's no space for panels, no space for it's a public area.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be. It
was supposed to be just like a meetup, and
it was a meetup. Yeah.
He would have been better just having the Sunday, because the Sunday is traditionally the Bronies in New South Wales meetup day. Okay. Like, our meetups are always on Sundays. So, yeah.
I think the only thing, I remember when it was happening, I was actually adamant that the name PikaCon stays. that was what I really wanted to see. I wanted to see SalvageCon actually still be named PikaCon. But alas, that wasn't the case. SalvageCon is a fine name, by the way, and it worked out really well. So I'll admit I was wrong.
Yeah.
But I wanted PikaCon to be the name.
So we should probably begin wrapping it up. So, wow, we planned to go for 1.5 hours and like almost 2.
Well, you've
Yeah.
gone for longer than that.
Whoopsie.
Oh, we're almost at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
that
A
means
couple
we
of
can
things
talk
will be cut
about-
out, but
Yeah, true. But
Still
that also
over
means
an
we can
hour.
talk about the other topic that I don't know if it's supposed to be a mystery or not next time.
Yeah, so we're hoping to make this a weekly occurrence,
yeah.
at least maybe fortnightly. I don't know,
I
depends.
can do weekly.
Yeah, that would be good. So you can expect more, so much more.
More of us. Share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends. Remember, Hoofwave is around forever, and if you don't like us, we're just gonna saturate the market with videos. So we'll be anywhere, anyway. Everywhere, anyway. I speak.
Yes.
My tongue is just tripping over
We're
itself.
gonna be. We're taking over the market, yo.
Yeah, well,
This internet is ours. Your ears are ours.
all of your
downloads,
internet are belong to ponies.
your mom, your family, your firstborn. We own it now. So you better get used to it, Sonny Jim, because we coming for you,
Alright.
Hulk Hogan.
Alright. Sweet. Yeah, so this has been the Hoofwave podcast. This is our revival podcast. Thank God it's finally happening with our new MCs,
It's alive.
Harry and Former Riot.
Final right.
Final Riot.
Final right.
I did it again!
Oh, was that you who designed the first one?
No, it was Kez.
It was Kez who made it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh,
The final...
MCs Matthew McKenna and Final Riot.
Yes, that was it. That was Kez.
Yeah.
Final Riot.
Final Riot.
I didn't even think she knew who Final Draft was. She put Final Riot.
At least you didn't put
She
formal
definitely
draft.
didn't know who Formal
Formal Draft. That sounds like a very posh fart.
Oh, I could see that on some British sitcom.
What was that? Oh, it was like a Formal Riot.
That was the worst OC. Formal draft.
Formal Draft. It's like Cutie
Was
Mark
only
is like
invited.
it's like a top hat with a green cloud underneath it.
Was only invited to the Grand Galloping Gala once.
He stunk up the place.
Never again.
Stunk up the place and had to leave. Jesus Christ.
Alrighty. So how do we sign off? Is there like a special traditional?
Yeah, we all have to like
Oh, sweet.
slice our palms and drip one
Blood
drop of
pact.
blood into the chalice in the middle of us. No, yeah, so
Sacrifice that
yeah, we
moth.
sacrifice an animal.
Catch it.
Yeah, so this has been the Hoofwave podcast, signing off for the first time in ages.
Yeah.
Finally, another podcast done. This
Final
counts
draft,
as podcast 1. The old one is going to be removed because it'll be, I don't know, unlisted or something. It's kind of not important and irrelevant now.
Is it podcast one like the Xbox one, and that it's not actually the first one?
Well, the first Xbox, I'm pretty sure, was actually called Xbox. Or Xbox Original later.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand why everyone's so confused about that. I mean, I'm not.
Xbox Beta.
Yeah.
Xbox OG.
Yeah, so this has been the Hoofwave podcast, signing off. And we'll see you guys later.
Alright, yeah, peace. Thanks for listening, yo.
Seriously, share with your friends.